In the early hours of April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the Ukrainian SSR bustled with activity. It was a routine night shift for the workers, unaware of the catastrophe about to unfold. Among them was Anatoly Dyatlov, the deputy chief engineer, overseeing a safety test on Reactor 4. As the clock ticked past midnight, the test began. It was meant to simulate a power outage and assess the reactor's ability to maintain cooling systems until backup generators kicked in. But a combination of design flaws and human error would turn this routine test into a nightmare. Anatoly Dyatlov, eager to complete the test despite warnings from engineers, ordered the reactor's power to be lowered to dangerously low levels. Unbeknownst to him, this would trigger a chain reaction that would lead to catastrophe. At 1:23 a.m., Reactor 4 experienced a sudden power surge. Alarms blared, and the control room was engulfed in chaos as operators desperately tried to regain control. But it was too late. A series of explosions ripped through the reactor, rupturing its containment vessel and sending a plume of radioactive debris into the night sky. In the nearby town of Pripyat, residents were jolted awake by the sound of the explosion. Some rushed to their windows, drawn by curiosity, while others remained blissfully unaware of the danger lurking outside their doors. As dawn broke, the true extent of the disaster became apparent. The reactor building lay in ruins, its core exposed to the elements. Radiation levels soared, turning the air acrid and metallic. Evacuation orders were issued, but they came too late for many. Plant workers scrambled to contain the damage, risking their lives in a desperate bid to prevent further catastrophe. Firefighters battled the inferno raging within the reactor, their efforts hampered by the intense radiation. In the days that followed, the scale of the disaster became clear. The nearby town of Pripyat was evacuated, its streets deserted, save for the occasional military vehicle patrolling the empty roads. Families fled with only what they could carry, leaving behind homes and possessions tainted by radiation. Amid the chaos, a silent killer stalked the land. Invisible and insidious, radiation seeped into the soil, contaminating water supplies and poisoning the very essence of life. The land itself became a wasteland, its once verdant forests reduced to ashen skeletons. But amidst the devastation, stories of heroism emerged. The liquidators, brave men and women, tasked with cleaning up the aftermath of the disaster, worked tirelessly to contain the radiation and prevent further harm. Many would pay the ultimate price, their sacrifice fading into the annals of history. Today, the Chernobyl exclusion zone stands as a haunting reminder of the folly of mankind. Its silent streets and crumbling buildings bear witness to the hubris of those who dared to harness the power of the atom. And yet, amid the ruins, nature perseveres. Wildlife roams freely, reclaiming the land inch by inch, a testament to the resilience of life in the face of unimaginable adversity. The shadow of Chernobyl looms large over the world, a reminder of the dangers that lurk within the heart of every nuclear reactor. And as the decades pass, may we never forget the lessons learned from that fateful night, lest history repeat itself once more. In the aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster, the world held its breath as a silent menace crept across the landscape. The once bustling town of Pripyat lay deserted, its streets haunted by the ghosts of those who had fled in fear. But amidst the desolation, a new army rose to confront the invisible enemy that threatened to engulf them all, the liquidators. Among them was Yuri Ivanov, a veteran of the Soviet army, whose steely resolve had seen him through many battles. When the call came to join the cleanup effort at Chernobyl, Yuri did not hesitate. He knew the risks, but he also knew that someone had to take a stand against the encroaching tide of radiation. Clad in protective suits and armed with Geiger counters, Yuri and his fellow liquidators descended upon the stricken reactor like soldiers marching into battle. Their mission was clear: to contain the radiation and prevent it from spreading further. Their first task was to extinguish the fires raging within the reactor building. It was a perilous undertaking, fraught with danger at every turn. The intense heat threatened to melt their protective gear, while the toxic smoke obscured their vision, turning the air thick and choking. But the liquidators pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and a determination to see the job through to the end. With hoses and water cannons, they fought tirelessly to douse the flames, their efforts aided by helicopters dropping sand and boron onto the burning wreckage. As the fire subsided, the true extent of the damage became apparent. The reactor's core lay exposed, a twisted mass of metal and concrete spewing forth a deadly cocktail of radioactive isotopes. It was a sight that chilled Yuri to the bone, but he knew that they could not afford to falter now. With grim determination, the liquidators set about the task of containing the radiation. They worked in shifts, rotating in and out of the danger zone to minimize their exposure. Every moment spent inside the exclusion zone was a gamble, but they knew that their sacrifice was necessary to prevent a greater catastrophe. Their efforts were not in vain. Over the course of months, the radiation levels began to drop, and the threat of a second explosion receded into the past. But the cleanup was far from over. With meticulous care, the liquidators set about decontaminating the surrounding area. They scrubbed buildings, washed streets, and dug trenches to bury contaminated soil. It was back-breaking work, made all the more difficult by the oppressive heat and the ever-present threat of radiation sickness. But still, they pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to see their homeland restored to its former glory. Slowly but surely, life began to return to the exclusion zone. Trees sprouted new leaves, birds sang in the branches, and wildlife ventured cautiously back into the open. For Yuri and his fellow liquidators, it was a bittersweet victory. Many had lost friends and loved ones to the silent killer that lurked within the reactor's shattered shell. But their sacrifice had not been in vain. Chernobyl would never be the same again, but thanks to their efforts, it would live on as a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity in the face of unimaginable adversity. In the wake of the Chernobyl disaster, the once vibrant landscapes surrounding the abandoned towns of Pripyat and Chernobyl lay silent and desolate. Human activity ceased, leaving nature to reclaim its dominion over the land. What emerged was a testament to the resilience of life in the face of adversity. As the years passed, the exclusion zone became a haven for wildlife, where animals thrived despite the lingering specter of radiation. Among the first to return were the birds, their melodic songs filling the air with a sense of hope and renewal. Eagles soared high above the treetops, while swallows darted through the ruins of abandoned buildings, building their nests amidst the crumbling concrete. On the forest floor, a bustling community of mammals flourished. Deer, wild boar, and wolves roamed freely, their populations exploding in the absence of human hunters. In the cover of darkness, elusive predators such as lynx and bears ventured out from their dens, reclaiming territory once lost to civilization. But it was not just the larger animals that thrived in the exclusion zone. In the shadowy depths of the abandoned buildings, a myriad of smaller creatures found refuge. Mice scurried through the debris, their tiny footprints leaving trails in the dust. Bats roosted in the rafters, their echolocation guiding them through the darkness. Even the rivers and lakes of the exclusion zone teemed with life. Fish darted through the murky waters, their scales shimmering in the dappled sunlight. Frogs croaked from the reed beds, their chorus echoing across the stillness of the marshlands. But perhaps the most remarkable story of resilience was that of the Przewalski's horses. Once on the brink of extinction, these rare wild horses found sanctuary within the confines of the exclusion zone. With no humans to threaten their existence, their numbers began to rebound, and today they roam freely across the grasslands, a living testament to the power of nature to heal itself. As scientists studied the wildlife of the exclusion zone, they made a startling discovery. Despite the lingering presence of radiation, the animals showed no signs of genetic abnormalities or deformities. It seemed that nature had found a way to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity, a testament to the incredible resilience of life. Today, the exclusion zone stands as a unique testament to the power of nature to reclaim what was once lost. In the shadow of Chernobyl, life continues to flourish, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the ruins of a man-made disaster. And as the years pass, may we continue to marvel at the resilience of the natural world and the remarkable ability of life to endure, even in the face of the greatest challenges.